All right, so I want to just have a little chat about where you can put stops if you're going to use them. Now, when I'm in front of my screen, I don't use stops. I would rather manually execute exits in case there's a little bit of a spike down on a lack of liquidity or something like that. However, I think it's good discipline to have stops. So, you know, in the past, we used our stops at minus 1.3 RR, or you can say -2, -3. I think what a good technique, and this really goes to how I used to do it a long, long time ago, is to put your stop below the last inflection point low. And so with WPRT, that would be here at 304. I usually try to give it a little bit of extra room, and maybe even 299 would be better because it's just below the $3 threshold. Either way, you got stopped out at somewhere around -3, -2.7, -3. If we look at some of the other stocks from today, I'll show you the second thing that I do. So once a stock is going up and it's gone up, I'm going to say at least 2, and it has a pullback, and then it breaks the pullback, I like to put my new stop at the low of the pullback. And then as long as the market factor doesn't go sharply against me, I just sort of stick with that. And so if we go through some of the picks that I made in the opening half an hour, just waiting for the next one to come up here. I don't know why it's so slow. Maybe it's slow because this is getting bogged down, so I will clean this up. Sorry, I just screwed that up. Just give me a moment. I'm just going to clean up the lists here. Okay, so we'll go back to ETM. So there you have ETM goes up, it went above 2, first pullback, breaks the pullback, then you can put your new stop at that, just below that inflection point. Let's try a few more. And that's a fairly aggressive thing to do, but I think, you know, if you're away from your screen, that's a good approach. So here again, pullback, break of the pullback, new stop would be at just below break even. Original stop down here at basically a little below -3. Let's try FOMX. FOMX triggers there. Your stop is going to be here, right? That's your last inflection point. Or you could even go to this one, actually. And so that was about -1.5. So that one, your downside potential is not that big. And then you make your first pullback, break of the pullback, and new support there. I'll do a couple more. QD. So entry here, stop down here at about -2.3. It goes up. It didn't really have a pullback. I mean, it had a minor one, so I don't know that I would have. Yeah, probably once we're up in here, maybe you could put the stop at this inflection point there. One more, MIME. So entry was there. This one actually didn't trigger until we went back above the action candle. So that's there. At that point, your stop is way down here at -3. And then you broke this pullback in here. It's not really a strong break of a pullback. I'd like to see like a noticeable reversal. So either this one, because it's from a rising bottom, or even here. You don't want to be too aggressive jumping on moving your stop up until there's a real obvious move back to strength after a pullback. All right. Now, if a stock doesn't make a pullback, like if it just marches straight higher, so let's look at some of the hot stocks of the day. Let's try Clovis, CLVS. So CLVS, well, even that one had a pullback. What I was going to say, though, is if it's a stock that just never pulls back and just goes straight higher, then we can use that moving average rule where we look for, you know, once it's above 5 to put a stop at the moving average. On CLVS, that got us out here at about 8. And in this case, it hasn't paid off because we're back up to 11 now. All right, so that's a real short lesson on using stops. Hopefully that's helpful. And I'll take your questions on stocks, and then I'll give you your screen captures as well.